How many of you are aware what is that you need to do in your career? Are you aware of it? Do you have a clarity about it? Yes, no? Or are you having a confusion? How many of you are having a confusion? Help me understand with one simple question. What is your next level position? Your industry, domain, function, and the designation that you feel. Industry, domain, function, and the designation. Be very clear about it. Now, those who are aware of that next role, what clarity do you need in your career? If you say that I'm confused about the career clarity, and we actually have an understanding what is my next role, okay, then what is the confusion? Most of the people actually relate the clarity with the how part. How is not your clarity. What and why is your clarity. If what and why is are clear, how becomes a process. You automatically reach there. But most of the people end up having no clarity of how. They continue to question themselves to be how. Now, why how becomes so much a problem? Because your what is not clear. So how many of you have got the borrowed goals? My neighbor is a director, that's why I want to be a director. My colleague is a senior manager, that's why I want to be a senior manager. My colleague got a promotion, that's why I want to get promoted. Again, how is not a problem. What and why is a problem. I'll prove you that why, what, and why is a problem. So most of us, we carry the borrowed goals. Okay, how many of you want to become a Crorepati CEO? Where this Crorepati dream came from? This is the clarity you require. That's why I told you the clarity is all about what and why. It's not about how. Okay, which need told you that, okay, you have to be a Crorepati CEO? What is that need? Now, most of you do not have a clarity why you want to become something. If you are not clear about why you want to become something, will you ever take an action is a question. Yeah. Then that question is not about the how, because your action is an optional action. This is an option available. You create an option for your career and says, if I become a 1 CR CEO, that is wonderful thing in life. My life is worth. Now you have created an option. But as of now, I'm okay with my senior manager 30 lakh rupees salary. Yeah. I don't want to do anything about that. But if this becomes, then it's a dream come true for me. Now, this is the problem with most of the mid-career professional because they are only looking at the goal from the perspective of the other people. How many of you have a borrowed goal now? Because most of you have actually created a borrowed goal. It could be borrowed from me as well, by the way. I have no sent and you are not sent as well. So you have borrowed from me as well. Okay. Right. Now, the question is, if I have to now ask you, what is your real goal? What is that you will say in that case? How will be easier if you know your what? So I didn't say that you have to be working in the Infosys, HCL, and TCS to reach there. You don't need to. I ask you what designation. It could be the CEO of your own company also earning 1 crore. The problem is we are too much conditioned to only think in direction of a linearity. I am at managerial level, 2030, I'll be only at a senior manager or an AVP. इससे आगे मेरा कुछ नहीं होगा. That linearity thinking itself is a problem because it actually limits you from the possibilities. How many of you realize that? You stop looking at the possibilities. You only look for the limitations now. So when you ask the question of how, you're looking for the limited options. Okay. When you look at the what and why, then there are no limitations. Clarity is a question of what you want. Think of 3 to 5, 10 years. Think of lifestyle. Think of learning and earning. Think of currently where you are. Now, the second aspect of the clarity is why. I told you about the what, and the second is the why. Now, let me tell you something about me. Can I tell you why am I doing what I am doing? Yes, no? Can I get some permission? Yeah. So, I'm born and brought up in a lower middle class family in a backward class. Okay. One of the things which we actually experience as a child, we were abused, we were hated by the society around us. Okay. We were poor, of course. Most of us were illiterate. Okay. Our parents used to go for work for entire day, 12 hours, right? And I used to take care of my sibling and house and everything. We were having a 2-story, what we call as a leaking palace, okay, which used to leak in every monsoon, regardless of what you put on the top of the roof. Okay. In that situation, one thing which I observed in my childhood is the people never used to respect us. We never used to go and actually beg and borrow kind of or steal from them. But they never used to respect us for our poverty, for our illiteracy, and the infighting we used to have because of the money. Okay. Because when people are poor, they always fight for money. How many of you agree? Generally speaking, most of all the arguments in the world, the conflicts that you have in your life, 90% of them can be solved by the money itself, even though money is not everything in the life. Okay. That was the pun intended for those who understood. So That's where I realized that my father used to work very diligently, 12 hours a day, and he used to bring the salary, and we used to work on a very hand to mouth situation. We used to borrow the money every month and then return to make sure that we are kind of borrowing again in the next month. That was the cycle for us, right? And one thing which I realized, that my parents, my family, my sibling, my entire family were never getting the respect for whatever we were. Okay, whether we were a backward class, whether we were poor, whether we were illiterate, doesn't matter. But we as humans deserve the respect, which was not there. And the most with my father, because he was the eldest in that family, but he never used to get the respect from the family members as well, because he was not able to provide the means for his own family. That is a family of 5 people, me and my mother and three siblings of us. Okay, so one thing which has driven me from the childhood is I want to take my family out of that situation. I wanted people to see us with respect. Okay, the only way to do it is to become somebody who can be respected by the society, by the world. And as soon as it happened, 2001, I got a job. 2002, my father was fired from the job, and the family came to a standstill again. Why he was fired? Policy. He was a 10th pass. Company actually started a policy, no less than graduates are allowed. So he was fired after 25 years of service. So that's when I had started taking the responsibility of house. And I had taken the biggest risk. 2001, I took a bigger risk. My father actually gave up on my sister. She was a bright student. She was a ranker in 12th. Okay. She took an admission in MBBS, but before taking an MBBS admission, my father said, I'm not going to give any money for sister's education because I don't have any capacity. So I took it upon myself with 15,000 rupees monthly salary that I will be taking care of her education. Today, she is an MBBS and going for the PG right now. But if I had not taken those decisions, taking the risk, I wouldn't have seen my family like this. The second risk I took it is 2002. I was the first person in my life, in my entire family, to buy a house on loan. I didn't have the salary, but I wanted to get my family out. Do you know why? I wanted them to see the respect of the society. How many of you are realizing there was a very strong why for me to continue despite all the odds? There was a very strong why for me to take the risk because I was very clear about my why. I didn't know even what I will become, but I was very clear that why I want it. I wanted my family to be respected in the society. I wanted my father to be respected in the society. And that is what actually is driving me even today. My father is very proud that one son is actually in the US, the other is a doctor, the third one is a businessman. Today, he is not bothered about our future. Every parent is actually bothered about the future of the children, isn't it? But he is not. Why? Because he understands that Rakesh will take care of the family together. And that is what is driving me. The question is, in the last 18 years of my corporate life, I have bought 3 homes. We were almost homeless despite having our own ancestor home. Okay. We had bought the cars. We have given my parents the US trip. We have given my parents all the pilgrimage that is possible in the world to make sure that they actually live the life that they deserve. Now, all these are only possible when you make the right decisions in your career. You cannot just sit in your comfort zone and expect that some miracle will happen in your life and the things will work out in your favor. So the question I'm asking you is very simple. What is your why for what you want to achieve? If you do not have your why, which is bigger than you, you'll always fall short. If you have your why, which is bigger than you, then you will not stop anywhere. You'll become unstoppable. You will do whatever it takes. You will not bother about the risk. You'll not be bothered about the failure that comes your way. Because 18 years has not been a smooth ride per se in the corporate world. Okay. So the question is the clarity of why is the real question. Yeah. You don't need any ascertain of your why. You need to have a feeling. I didn't actually logically rationalize my why, because rationalizing my why would have been a very simple guess. If I rationalize, then I'll say, in order to make the family better, all of us have to work. That's the rationalization. Okay. Now, this is where you need to ask yourself a question. What is your why? Why do you want what you want? Is it something as an emotional reason available with you, or you're just doing it for the sake of doing it? Because if you're not having any reason behind your goal, then you're not going to follow that path. Because as soon as you hit the roadblock, you're going to take a back seat. You're going to get away, get into your comfort zone easily. How many of you have done that retreat in your life? As soon as you hit the roadblock, you immediately got into the back seat. Arey, ye nahi karna hai. This is very risky. I don't want to do that. I don't want to go out. I don't want to learn more. I don't want to enroll anywhere. I just want to continue with what I am doing. And if that is the case, you do not have the strong why enough. Because if you have a strong why, you will actually take a heads on with any challenge. Doesn't matter what challenge is. Because please understand that you're always stronger than your challenge. Challenge wouldn't have come if you are not able to solve it. Do you all agree with that? If challenges are given, that means the universe has a lot of faith in you that you are able to solve it. Unfortunately, the only person who doesn't have a faith is you. The only person who doesn't have a faith is you. Rest of the people have a faith in you. Your family has a faith in you. Your colleagues have faith in you. Your children have faith in you. Yeah, universe has faith in you. Your spouse must be having a faith in you as well. But you are the only person who doesn't have faith. And if you can solve that for yourself by taking the new challenges upfront, let me tell you that you will be a different person altogether.